Hello, hello. Are we live? Seems like we are. Crazy amount of people just waiting to view the chat. I don't think I've ever had this many people ready and waiting. Hello, Just Videos, Michelle, La Forest, Mungo, Gregory, Shutdown, Mike's, Fluff, Armor, Bully. Yes, yeah, definitely. You probably did throw them all, you terrible man. So Pablo, Teosek. Forgot the tab was open. Yeah, fair. Is there a no spoiler policy about the games? No. No, I don't mind. It was on yesterday, streamed yesterday. We're gonna review all the games now. Well, not all the games. Obviously, that'd be too many. But obviously, don't just. I mean, there's no point in just spamming results in the chat. Obviously. Let me get the forum post open. What's up, Aaron? Sorry, I'm a bit late. Oh, also, did he release the Oh, he released the map pool as well. Okay, interesting. Oh, the ditch is in there. Okay. Interesting. Alright. So, we can watch some of my games. I have the POV recorded. Congrats on escaping the group of death. Thank you. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so there's all the players that were. Oh yeah, so Keyser didn't manage to get in. Everybody actually showed up to the group stage. First things first. You didn't get in, obviously. Seven and Morax. I think Seven and Morax are actually tournament directors, so that would have been weird if they had managed to sub in. I don't think that would have been able to happen. Okay, here's the groups. Yesterday. Tagada, me, Blin, Bladir. Nexus Tour and Parallel Arch. Actually, we can get the challenge. Oh. Yeah, they could have had less TDs, it's true. All these dumb ads. Okay, so here's the groups. Okay, slight spoilers there anyway. So yeah. I think we'll watch a few games of mine and then we'll start watching replays. See what happened. And go from there. I think, like beforehand, I didn't do a preview. I probably should have done a preview of the groups to say who I thought would get through. I think Group B is would be the most difficult one to predict, because these three players are difficult to know how good they are. Torin on his best day should get out of the group, but Torin rarely has his best day. Probably hasn't had his best day in 2 years, so that's tough. Paralon doesn't play very much 1v1, so it's hard to know how he's going to show up, but he's obviously a very good player, and Arch is more new. Usually newer players don't do as well in tournaments because they just don't have experience on enough maps and in enough situations, because tournament play is a bit different to ladder or custom 1v1s. People play a bit differently, there's more pressure, and yeah, stuff like that. Group C, I would have predicted Patrick and Esperanto to go through. Zlo took a few tries to even qualify for this tournament, so you can't really expect him to get out of the group. And then Blast also, I think he qualified in the last tournament. He also took a little while to get through the qualifiers. And then the last group is the easiest one, Turbo and Blackheart. I mean, there's almost no world where Turbo and Blackheart don't get out of this group. When it's Bully Dozer and Swackle, obviously Bully Dozer and Swackle are good, but Turbo and Blackheart are at least top 10 and closer to top 5 than top 10, depending on their form. But like they could both be in top 5 basically. But you know, if Blackheart's not practicing, he's not going to be top 5. Turbo's up there. Okay, so let's watch some POV. So this is my first game. I'm against Blinchik. Let me just type in all this. That we're online. To be honest, I'm not sure who picked what map, because I think we picked in the wrong order at some point, I think. So I may have picked this map. Honestly, I can't remember. Either way, I think this tournament showed that the map picking and map vetoing is extremely important, and we're going to see it in all the series that I played. That the map selection is a massive part of the tournament, and if you get it wrong, you are going to lose pretty much, or eliminate any chance you might have had. So I made a build on this map, which I think is a nice build. Just before the game, I was worried. What's up, Farms? Just before the game, I was worried what happens to my build if he goes first bomber, which obviously you can do on this map. But then I thought, let's not change our plans. So I just spaced the P-gens to make first bomber less painful if he does go first bomber. Why is there video player and still replay? Because it's POV. So I'm just going to show the POV for now. So yeah, the build is 3 engineers and then a bomber. And I think it's pretty nice. Now, what isn't so nice is what I do with the bomber, which will be very entertaining for everyone, I'm sure. Also, the game is quite laggy because we had these casters in. Yeah, it's 1v1. Well, I mean, the map is split here. It's you know, it's fine for 1v1. So yeah, what we did, oh yeah, I'll show you there. So we made, what, 3 engineers, we get 4 pigeons, then we assist on the ground, so that we assist the air factory, get a bomber out, we don't stall or anything. And then we just start building a lot more power. This one engineer is getting the mass from the Salems. What's up, Peter? Unishin. Bit more energy reclaim. And then you'll see how badly I'm able to use this bomber. Head immediately to another Salem wreck. It's good to go for the Salem wrecks quickly because, I mean, if you're going to overflow, then you can... Okay, now we can see our bomber micro. So here, actually, look at this, right? Look how long it takes for things to show up on radar here. Like this is what screwed me, honestly. This is what made this bomber look way worse than it should have been. Like, why is nothing on radar in his base right now? So I should be able to target some stuff. Still nothing. Still nothing on radar, right? What is going on here? Obviously, I flew directly over this engineer, but his base is stealthed on my screen. Now it pops up, and we bombed the ACU. Try to bomb that guy, fail. That guy goes off radar. What is this? Why is he not on radar when he's actually right here? Look. So then we couldn't bomb that guy. So yeah, we made a nice build, and then we got absolutely destroyed by the game itself. So then we just bomb a pigeon. Cool. We don't even kill it. And so at this point I'm like, holy shit. And then I see a naval factory. I'm like, okay, this is bad, actually. This is a bad opening. Don't know why we bothered wasting our time whoring this build. And then it's like, okay, Navy time. Just carry on with the game. Pretend we never made a bomber. At least it's still alive. Maybe we can bomb something later. And just move on. Just forget it. Then we made a second bomber, I think by accident. So that's cool. Blin, I don't know what he's doing, why he doesn't have air yet. You need to make second air on this map. First air is also good. Yeah, you see, you're right. I should have made a scout. Then it's much simpler. And once again, nothing drops there. And you really just gotta focus on making power. A lot of power on this map, and Navy is brutal. Because if there's not much Navy, then it's like, I don't know. Well, I guess we're both Cybern, so hover is not a deal, but yeah, Navy is super important on this map, obviously. I mean, look at it, it's more water than land. But I think even with the absolute fail of a bomber, our start is fine. Even though he made a naval factory faster than us, we're gonna have like probably 4 or 5 naval factories before he has that many, so it's not too big a deal. It's not like we're gonna, be denied in naval production or anything. Which would be the most brutal thing. So now we just go take some reclaim. We're not even quick enough with our AC. We should have left the base more quickly, I think. Now we get a transport. We're still managing to almost balance our economy, but the transport is a bit too much energy. And most of our mass is going into power and navy at this point. Pretty nice I had Blin as a warm-up match. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the only real game that Blin played in this tournament, which we might show. Well, I'll quickly show you the second game. Okay, here we finally show that we can micro bomber occasionally. So we kill that engineer. Those engineers are also really vulnerable, obviously, to frigates, which you'll see now. My engineer up top goes down. That's why you want to try and go for like all the Salem wrecks quickly. I don't think I finished my point before, but if you're there already, you can just stop reclaiming it to so you don't overflow. But if you're not there, then, or you know, some of them are going to get denied. You're not going to actually reach the wreck or something. So just try and be at all of as many of the wrecks as possible. That's the main thing to fight for on the map, is don't lose navy, and make sure you have as many Salem wrecks as you can get your hands on. I should have made more subs, actually, because I saw towards the end of the game that they had like, I think they had almost 1k. Oh yeah, there I ground fire that Salem wreck, by the way, which is pretty nasty, but also very nice to do. Like, I'm probably not gonna get that wreck. I shouldn't get that wreck, so I'll just ground fire it with the frigate and take away like 1,000 mass from him. We lose that engineer, sadly. We lost quite a few engineers to frigates, but that's fine, just make more. So yeah, we did quite a bit of damage to that Salem wreck up here. Yeah, we took away like 600 mass. We're not doing a great job with our commander at all. Just kind of walking around randomly. We could have dealt with mid a lot better. Yeah, I wish I had made more than 2 subs, basically. But then you see, if you make too many subs, then it's like, oh, well, now I should definitely make torpedo bombers. You know? But when there's only 2, then you might not be arsed. Or you might not think it's worth it. Okay, there's some dumb stuff happen soon. But we're going T2 air. We're trying to take mid mass. And of course continue spamming lots of power. Go back for that wreck again. We probably have a bit too much assistance on our on our T2 air factory. But we managed to steal, look at this, we got this Salem wreck on the bottom. And we're going to get a lot of the second one as well. Which is the most important thing on that island. So yeah, we're in a good position. We have 9 naval factories, which is probably similar to what he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He might have a couple more that I haven't seen yet. But we're doing well in navy. Well enough. We're maybe leaving a bit of reclaim. Okay, go back for this wreck. Transport is really important on this map. Because you gotta get to certain places quickly at the right times. So Blin's gonna take the bottom island with his commander, which is fine. I don't mind that. What would I have done with that BH motivational post? I don't know. I might not have. Well, I would hope I'd still beat Blin. That's I'll do that much. Okay, we made a Corsair, and I think at this point I was looking at his base, and I was like, there's nothing upgraded here whatsoever. There's no mexes. There's no HQ or anything. So I think I kind of have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this Corsair that I've made for some reason. Submarines crushing, but I am donating some mass. More navy. We're getting, I think, 2 wrecks at once, maybe. We're at least getting 1 Salem wreck at this moment. It's not a bad idea to upgrade mexes. I don't know why I never invested in a couple of mex upgrades, so it would have been good, to be honest. Okay, let's kill that wreck, because we're not going to get it. Just ground fire it with a frigate. Put engineers in a transport, then don't know where I want to send them. And then start doing something else. This is what they call effective APM, guys. Okay, we actually might manage to get that Salem wreck. But yeah, at this point, I'm feeling very comfortable. I just need to micro my navy a little bit. Don't take the worst trades ever. Okay, we're just clicking on his ACU with the single Corsair. To be honest, he'll make a lot of anti-air, and he'll be dodging with his commander a lot. That's something, at least. I honestly don't know what I could do with the Corsair. Maybe it kills some torpedo defense, or... I mean, that sounds terrible as well. Trying to make a TML. Don't really have any mass for that. He also has nothing upgraded. And we're just microing navy. Try and take some more mid-mass. But yeah, the navy is going really well at this point. Like, this fight on the top side shows how far ahead I am. Making some torpedo bombers. Thought about heading towards the island with the ACU, and I changed my mind before too long. It's just an unnecessary risk. The subs at this point have like 600 or 800 mass killed. Those 2 subs have been built from some of the early factories. T2 Navy probably should have been on my radar to make here. But we're just playing very conservatively, even though we don't have the bottom island, which might have been a mistake. Okay, T2P gen, not protected by TMD, of course. That's a really good place to put it. Yes, I am going to reclaim the wreck I ground fired earlier. This is true. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't have ground fired it. Because really, there's no way I should ever get that. Especially 13 minutes into the game. That's madness. Yes, there's 1 torp defense there. That's the only reason I don't attack the front. Is that single torp defense. Also, I'm quite conscious now of all the frigate wrecks that are being left. More so on his side than my side. There's almost none on my side. There's quite a lot on his side, so I don't want to... I have to keep the pressure on so that he can't just easily get the reclaim. But I don't want to donate too much more as well in the wrong positions. And then... the ACU shows up on this island, and at this point I'm like, okay, GG then. Game's over. I haven't seen any air from him for the entire game. I'm sure he has some inties. But I also think this is like deliberate suicide by him. to be honest. No, he does have an airfake. He has one in here. Yeah, see, there it is. And I did see some air blips at some point in the game, but you can see by the fact he doesn't send any inties in that he... I'm pretty sure he just wanted to end the game. Oh no, there come the inties. Here come the inties. Very, very late. Yeah, I don't know. But walking onto this island was obviously just a death sentence. He knew I had T2 air. All the frigates will make sure that if he wants to get off the island, he's gonna... Well, he I don't think you could walk off the island when there's all those frigates. I think we have the second game here. Oh no, that's not the second game. This is the second game. Dissatisfied with loss of control, yeah. No, he's dissatisfied with just being behind for most of the game. Probably, especially after my bomber out of my first air factory did almost nothing. He was still way behind pretty quickly, so that's probably it. Now we're on Craftiest, and we're gonna see. I'm not gonna spend too much time in this game because I'll show you what happens at the start. Yeah. Did he hype him up? Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, I was kind of hyping Blin because I thought he is a very good player and underrated. I don't mean like, I mean, obviously at 1700 rating he's underrated, but I meant probably generally by players, not the rating system. He's underrated. But yeah, he did this was terrible. This was just capitulation. I think he probably had no faith after that first game. That seems to be what happened, where it's like the first game happened and he's like, all right, well, I guess I have no chance. Because this is not a cheese strategy. This is just, it can't work. What's up, Reese? Thanks. Hey, Peter. It was kind of fun. Okay, so Aeon Lab showing how powerful it is. I mean, against other labs, the Aeon Lab is brutal. Yeah, Blast on Painted Desert. I don't know why that map wasn't banned either. I mean, never mind about playing normally. Blast should have banned that map. For sure. So yeah, Aeon Lab versus other labs is quite brutal. It will easily 1v1 them. So we're just protecting all our stuff. He's making lots of labs. Aurora are also very good against labs, guys. Here, I should have made a naval factory, by the way. Not a land factory with the ACU. I think naval factory is better. Oh, you had too many maps to ban Blast. Well, I'd still think that has to be like in the top 3 maps to ban against Petrick. I mean, I freaking picked the map against him like a moron. Well, I picked. To be honest, I picked against him because he was doing like. Wait, let me see. Was that the first map we played? Okay, we actually managed to kill something with a bit of bomber micro. You had to ban crazy sentence painted Roanoke. Oh, I definitely would take any of those three other against Patrick other than painted. Painted is like stereotypical best Patrick map. But yeah, like I said earlier on, map picking is huge in this tournament. Yeah, so right now, I think I scouted his base. You can see there's no air factory. No air factory whatsoever. And every unit he's made is an engineer, a lab, or a scout. No tanks. No tanks whatsoever. So this is basically a meme game. It's not, I don't know, it's just not a real strategy. Because he doesn't make air, and he doesn't make navy, and he doesn't make anti-air, and this game is a joke, basically. So it's just, I'm just playing super safe. I know he's, oh yeah, here, actually. So I see that he, I don't know at what point I see that he's walking through middle, another meme strat. Oh yeah, here. So I see him walking in this direction towards middle. So at this point, I'm not going to walk to the top side. If he's going to walk through middle. Often the best thing to do when people are doing some dumb ACU movement is to just put your ACU in front of them. Because usually they want to abuse their ACU in some way. And if you just put your ACU in the way, then they can't abuse your position. So yeah, we're just gonna block his commander with our commander, and we won't go to the top side to secure that. Because he might end up in situations where you get cut off from your reinforcements if he pushes through here and stuff like that. That's what he wants to abuse, basically. Or walk into your base. Because, like, if you imagine he walks through middle, and we imagine that he's doing normal stuff behind it, then if I'm up the top, then he can threaten the base, and then I have to come back, and then he threatens the ACU with all of his units, and then it's like he can throw me in two different directions at once. So let's just avoid all of that and put our ACU in the way so he can't do any of that nonsense. So yeah, we're just bombing all this stuff around, and we're sending stuff on the Navy. I mean, look, he has no air. He's making full labs. The game is a non-entity, to be honest. All we have to do is not die, and that's pretty easy, considering he's making labs. And we're just going to spam Aurora. Because he's just going to spam labs. So yeah, not much to see here, honestly. Except a lot of mech marines. Maybe we can show some of the bigger mech marine battles. So here's a load of mech marines coming into my expansion. There are now like 4 Aurora defending the expansion versus all those mech marines. And let's see what happens. Oh, there's also a frigate. So that's pretty good. And all the mech marines are dead. So yeah, don't do this. Don't make mech marines against Aurora. That's nice mass donation. Skip forward. Still playing very safe. There's a lot of stuff we could have done. Could have made T2 air a bit sooner, maybe. Could have dropped his islands and stuff, but I was just like, if I just don't die, I don't lose. It was funny to see some of the battles, but yeah. Now he sees making the gun, so we retreat a little bit towards the water, and we're gonna queue up the gun as well. Get some T2 engineers out so we can make PDs and TMD and T2 gen. Okay, Aurora not microed. So Mech Marines actually get into range and do pretty okay. Time to pause Navy, I think. Yeah. Because he has none, so we only need a few frigates. We should have had a submarine out already. Although, yeah, we should have. I don't know where it is. We're stalling heavily because we're making the gun really fast with tons of engineers. Get some nice artillery on this thing here. This is always fun. I think I saw Zlo do this first, probably. My situation seems bad. No, the game is completely in my favor, and Blaine has nothing going for him. So I disagree completely. This game was in my palm since 2 minutes in. Like, there's just nothing he can do, in my opinion. That's what I felt in the game. There's just no way. And then nothing bad did happen. Now I have tons of mass in the bank. Turn on the factories again. I don't know why they went idle. But all these Aurora are getting like at least 100 mass killed each. Like, they're doing crazy. How you stopped him at the beginning? Well, he had Mech Marines. I mean, like, you'd think of it this way: if I have air and I'm bombing tons of his engineers, if he kills like one engineer with his raids or something, it's not a big deal because I've bombed an engineer here, here, and here. And he didn't really have that much more. He had crappy Mech Marines instead of actual units. So, also on this map you can walk engineers into the water and then land units can't raid them. So that's pretty helpful. Yeah, now we have double gun and he's gonna walk into us and just suicide. We have PDs and double gun and million Aurora, and he has nothing except shitty Mech Marines. And okay, then we accidentally keep recording for a very long time until the Tagada game. I don't know what I would have done. Well, I would have still bombed his engineers. And then, I don't know. Do much the same. It wouldn't change much. If he makes anti-air, then he has less units. Yeah. I recorded nothing. I mean, the mic was off, so it's just a black screen because it's set on Supreme Commander. Yeah. A bit of extra space taken up on the drive. Alright, so we beat Blin 2-0, which was absolutely necessary to get through, because obviously Tagada and Bloodier are bigger threats in the group. So let's see what happens against Tagada. He's the next series. Probably won't give anything away about map picking or anything, in case it comes back to bite me in future series next week. So we won't talk about map picks, except that they are really important. Maybe after the tournaments, then I'll talk about map picks. Now that I think about it. How are you feeling about the matchup versus Turbo? I think it's... I'm not unhappy with the matchup, to be honest. I think I'd much rather get Turbo than several other players. So I think I have a good chance. Yeah, this game I was very, very disappointed at the end of this game. Very disappointed. And the bracket. Let me see. Oh wait, it's there. Okay, this was my pick. So I made a build. Actually, the faction veto, I think I typed them in wrong. As in, I typed in Aeon first, when I think I wanted Aeon as my second pick. And I was like, oh shit, Aeon. So, but yeah, I think I wanted UEF first, if possible. So we go factory, 2 P-gens, 2 mexes, and then we make 6 P-gens second air factory. Out of the land factory, we're going for 2 engineers. They're going to build the mexes and get reclaim, and then a tank or a tank scout to protect us from mech marines early on, and then the next engineers assist the commander, and then we make labs, and we make a ghetto. Now, never before had I made a ghetto build. Don't really use ghettos ever, so it's this is why it won't end so well, I guess. This is a planned BO, yeah. This is also why I went to UEF, because then you make the mech marines faster. Because then I was like, oh shit, I have Aeon Labs. They're way more expensive. But it was fine. Yeah, the execution on it was terrible. I really need to focus hugely on the ghetto. So yeah, afterwards we build a bomber as well. But again, then we have crappy Aeon bomber instead of a UEF bomber. So we do almost just slightly more than half the damage with that bomber that we would do. Immediately throw up another factory, and then we leave with the commander, head towards the enemy base. Yeah, first 2 scouts are dead already, of course. Okay, he's gone for second air bomber. My air factory's idle, by the way. He's gone for 2 bombers, which is kind of crazy. And then we're trying to micro our base. There we could have killed that anti-air for sure, easily. That was a major issue. And we're getting bombed to shit. Our anti-air is not doing anything, it seems. So we gotta build with the commander now. And then we're not microing. No PGens are dying. The labs are idle. Yeah, exactly. Should have dropped in the base. Right now I'm not microing the labs and they're gonna get bombed. There they go. They're all bombed or killed by Striker. And the ghetto's dead. So, yes. This is what happens when you just do a build and you have no practice in actually using a ghetto gunship. All you have is like doing a build for a while. It's not really as useful as it seems. So now we're just into some random Williamson's game now. Yeah, well, I mean, micromanage base, I'm like trying to not lose everything to bombers. But yeah, the fact that we managed to kill 0 PGens is outrageous to me. But now we're just playing a Willy game. This game takes a while, honestly. Here I get a little scared. He's on the same side as us, which I didn't really want. But, yeah. What the hell? Oh, combined mass of 1500. How the hell did that happen? So yeah, I think one of the main issues here was, well, probably the main issue after the ghetto fail is suiciding units into his commander and giving him massive amounts of veterancy. Not sure what you mean, Yudi. So right now he's getting shots on the Aurora constantly, which is obviously not good. We're not microing properly. Just trying to do too much at once, basically. And he's getting a lot of kills on the commander. That bomber was quite nice, but yeah, there's a lot of fighting going on, but in general he has more map control right now. So he has both the corners. So we're kind of behind at this point. Also, lack of radar is so ugly for the longest time. But yeah, we're just trying to take fights and get reclaim and yeah, see how it goes. Okay, at this point I realize I have no anti-air in my mix. But we have the nice Aurora advantage if only we could use it. The hills on Willy are not so good for using Aurora though. They will shoot the ground quite often. This is a very nasty fight. And we made some very big micro mistake there on the left. Where we're already retreating. And then we give another move order to retreat to the Aurora. All that makes them do is do a little stutter step, which allows the enemy to get in range of them. How is this a free ACU kill? I don't see how it is, honestly. Like, for one, I have no vision of his base. Two, he has like 6,000 HP. Oh, you mean earlier? Oh, when? Then. Before this? Yeah, I'm confused. You mean here? Before this? I don't know, maybe. Well, yes, I definitely could have got a lot more damage. It is miss micro. Free ACU kill, I'm not sure. And also, I don't know, stop exaggerating with the number of Auroras and all this nonsense. He's not low HP though. Like, he's not low HP. For example, 7,500 HP on his ACU. Like, with Auroras? Excuse me? No, there's no way I'd kill him. It's not, there's no way. It's not possible to kill the commander there. Say he sends some engineers or units into the base, I'm kind of fine with that. The lack of air and stuff is not good, but we just got a big reclaim field. Going for a draw is pure weakness in this scenario. Like, look what we just got. We have Aurora. We just got the biggest reclaim field that is going to happen in the whole game. And you want me to go for a draw. And also think I can get a win when it's literally not possible. So, please, UD, pack it in. Oh, we'll see how I lose. Don't worry. This hill is actually blocking every shot from the tons of the shots from the Aurora. Somehow I'm not reclaiming anything. Oh yeah, here's where we lose the game. Here's how we lose. We try to make the gun on the front line. And this is the biggest mistake of the whole game. Because now we have to cancel it. And again, we have no radar. Don't know where the radar is going. I guess he's bombing it. And that's the biggest mistake. And then we're not in such a good position. Also, somehow we managed to stall for like 30 seconds there with no mass, and now we have 800 mass in the bank. So that's the power of reclaim there. Well, yeah, the no radar, I just keep getting bombed, you know. But yes. No, there's no way I can kill the ACU. Please. Please give it up. No scouts in this army, by the way. Disgusting. And now we just lost this whole army on the right side. And he's gotten a million vet. And now the game is very bad. Now it's terrible. If we stand there reclaiming stuff, make sure we have radar, get the reclaim on the left side, which is ours. Don't allow him to do this, which he shouldn't be able to do, then we're in a good position to win the game. But now we're in a terrible position and we are kind of screwed. Even though we have some mass, we're so far behind in units at this point that there's actually no way back, to be honest, I think. Yeah, I also agree that UD is totally wrong, and there's no way I can kill the ACU there. It's a UEF ACU with over 8,000 HP. And I have Auroras? And I didn't have 30 of them? There's no way I wasted 4k HP, 4k damage. Anyway, at this point the game is very, very bad. And I think we can't win from here, honestly. Now you can see the HP and the ACU. His ACU is only getting more powerful as the game goes on. I'm not really getting much HP back. And then the left side, we get screwed again. We totally mess up the micro and lose our army. There's no reason for us to even have our Aurora there. And once again, you can see Raider continually getting killed. Why did I play this map? Because I made a build on it. And if I had actually managed to execute the build, I think I would win for sure. And now we're gonna die. Yeah, true. We get a vet, that's only going to prolong the game an extra few seconds. And we desperately tried to block him for a little bit. Don't know why I even bother with that, but we do. And we fail. And we're dead. So 1-0 to Tagada. Very, I was not happy at the end of this game. I was very, very disappointed with how badly I played. And the fact that I really felt like I threw that game away. I mean, the score is kind of, well, score is score. It's not that relevant, but it's interestingly very even the whole game. I didn't look at the rest of the stats because who needs to know that? So that's that game. Go back to the kill. Let's see where Yudi said I could get the kill. Okay, it's way back. It's Back before this. Alright, here it is. Let's go back to here. Now, Yudi says I can get a kill here. Okay. Right now, how many Aurora do I have? How many tanks do the enemy have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I have 15 tanks. 15 Aurora and a scout. He has 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 and a Lobo. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We micro back, kill all the tanks. And right there, you might have noticed that on the left side, I had to micro my Aurora back so they don't all die to his army. So that took a bit of a small second. Plus he's bombing me, so I have to deal with that. Now we move in after the ACU. See this fight here? And apparently in the small seconds that I moved this army back, I could have done 4k extra damage to his commander somehow, because all my Aurora would be in range of him shooting at once. And okay, more tanks are taking the shots of the ACU. So where was all that wasted time where I could get 8k more damage? He had there, when I hover over him, he has 7,500 HP. So how exactly do I make up all of that damage? Like, I don't know where you see the extra minute of me shooting at him I can make up. Makes no sense to me that you think I can get a kill there. What, am I supposed to follow him all the way into his base and walk through his whole base and still be able to kill him? Okay, you still think I could kill him. Well, let's move on because this is really stupid at this point. Let's check out the second game, which is not too interesting. Right. Here's a moment where the map selection was very poor by me. I should have vetoed this map, and I didn't. This should have been my first veto, probably, versus Tagada. And I got to the end of the veto, I was like, oh shit, I didn't veto this map. And then he picked it. And then I lost. So this is going to be quite an easy game for Tagada. The reason I should veto this is because I've barely ever played it. I did a small little sandbox, but my build is not going to be as good as Tagada's, most likely. Or like, I just need more experience on the map to know how it plays before I should be playing it in a tournament. So I should play older maps I've played many times, and then I can just make the right decision on the map and not be worried about, oh, we have a few less tanks in the wrong place at minute 4, and where do we go from here? And you know, because I just have no experience here, so it's hard to get an advantage. What mouse do I use? I have a Zowie EC1A. So yeah, this game is not going to be very interesting. Not sure how much I like it. I don't know what the story is with all these trees. The layout is, I mean, it's interesting, but it's so open that it's quite brutal to play. Like, you can easily lose expansions and things, and like they're difficult to defend. Like even the back expansion. This expansion on the left is actually in this corner is not safe. Really. It's quite exposed. Played 3 rounds while I wrote half a paper I gotta submit. You made the better life choice. I don't know. Don't know about that. Then months later, everyone is saying what, Thomas? So our build is already a bit bad, but you can see on this map you can really build very few pigeons. Like here I made Hydro 2 pigeons for the air factory, no extra pigeons for the next 2 land factories. Just factories. Probably overbuilding. Yeah, this game I didn't play very well. I'm kind of overbuilding, you know, labs, I feel. Overbuilding engineers probably as well. Trying to beat a striker 1v1 with a mech marine. Maybe we should have kept microing that. Maybe we could have actually done it, but I kind of just gave up. What's the plan on a map so big? Well, you'll see air control is very important for Tagada. He makes nice use of his air control. I see. Okay, I actually missed this engineer dying. When stuff like that happens, when you look back and you're like, oh, this engineer died. Terrible, terrible sign for your game. Then this bomber does incredible damage. 2 to 3 facts on NG spam? No, that seems crazy now, to be honest. I mean, there is a certain point where you do need extra engineers, and it's about this point where you're going to get tons of mass. Well, you should be getting this corner at least. And but yeah, you can see I've just been raided to death here, and I am already behind. So at this point I'm behind. I've been raided. He did really nicely with the bomber there as well. And yeah. We are screwed. What's the point of spamming labs early? Try and do some raiding, but as I said, I probably made too many. And then we suicide air. Really good. Really good stuff there. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm screwed. Well, I think it's good to make labs here as, I mean, it's just mech marines build so quickly and they are so fast that they're quite nice to use. And they didn't all die to tanks. I mean, well, some of them did. I could have used the ones in the back better, in the bottom right. No, you just play out the game and see what you can do, but it's probably lost at this point. So yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier, where the map veto is insanely important, and this is the main point where I screwed up the map veto, and it just cost me a game for free. Basically, there's not really even a contest in this match, in my opinion. Well, I don't think there's that much first bomber lab nonsense in the tournament. So I think people are testing things out, really. A lot of people were just testing out what labs are like, what first bomber is like. And on this map, I mean, it was, I remember I watched, yeah, I was in some of those Bloodier and Turbo games, and Bloodier is obviously not showing what he's going to do on the map because I'm in his group. So he's not going to do his whatever build he has, whatever it is, when I'm literally watching him. You know? So yeah, there's not much to say at this point. We're behind, we don't have mass, he has way more on the map, we don't have air control. Did he actually go first bomber on this map in the tourney? Really? I actually didn't see that game. I'd be really surprised if he actually went first bomber in this map, in the tournament. Why is first bomber bad on this map? Well, I mean, look at what I built straight away. Labs. How are you going to protect your engineers if you go first bomber? And there's also trees. There's a hydrocarbon. There's just no reason to make first bomber on this map at all. It's a terrible decision. I don't see any possible upside that would ever justify making first bomber on this map. And I'm shocked if Bloodier actually did make first bomber here. Maybe we'll watch those games after we're done here. Yeah, so we're just gonna die here. There's not much to say. Whatever. GG. He's absolutely destroying us with air and stuff. Okay, we're still alive somehow. We're just basically staying alive because maybe there's some brain dead universe where we get a draw. But no, doesn't happen. How can you protect your energies if you go labs though? Well, look, for like, it's first bomber already. If you think of it this way, first bomber, right? You make a P-gen, then you make an air factory, then you make a bomber. So you're already behind. The other guy went for a factory and then he built engineers straight away. So he's already ahead on engineers. So the bomber has to do huge damage to be worth it, because you're already behind on engineers when you make the bomber. So then any engineers you lose on top of just being behind, any engineers you lose to labs after your first bomber is more brutal, because again, you're already behind by going first bomber. He didn't make bomber here. Okay, good. You had me scared for a second. I was like, there's no way. There's no way he made first bomber. Quickly off the score screen. Okay. So we won one series 2-0. We lost one series 2-0. Map picks, very important, as we can see. Now we got the important series. The most important series. And we're against Bloodier. He did make it on white fire, but of course he did. It's white fire. And I did actually see the white fire game between Tagada and Bloodier. So we get Craftiest again. Bloodier picked Craftiest. And he should not have picked Craftius, in my opinion. I think that was a bad choice. I don't know what he should have picked, but probably not Craftius. I was quite happy that he picked this. Kill expanding engineers. Well, I mean, if you kill engineers in the base, then you have to replace those engineers. So then you're not sending those engineers out to expand. So you, like, an engineer is an engineer. Why is picking Crafty a bad choice? Because I like the map. Simple as that. I don't think it's not a punish pick at all against me, I don't think. There's other maps I'm sure I'm worse on. Basically. And I don't think he's particularly good here. So I don't understand why he picked it. Also, we're Seraphim and he's UEF. Terrible factions. I don't see... I mean, I think just having Seraphim is much better here than having UEF. Yeah, I think the patch has made things a lot more interesting. I don't know what he vetoed, actually, to be honest. I don't know what other faction I picked. Probably Aeon. I don't know. Maybe he vetoed Aeon. But yeah. I mean, maybe he does like this map. Probably he does like this map. But I don't think he's that good here. Like, or particularly good. Whereas I quite like my chances against a lot of people on this map. So yeah, we did a little bit of build order work here on this. Just a bit. You can't really avoid floating quite a bit of power at the start because, well, you're going to need to have power in storage once you start getting a million mexes all at once. For example, this engineer will be building mexes at the same time as this one, and then this guy is going to be building mexes. And then we're going to have to turn all that into factories and stuff. He made his own bomber. Looks like his bomber's a bit later, maybe. Gonna try to do some dodging. Micro the Inti. We didn't really micro the Inti that well. Wasted our scout and tank. And his bombing failed utterly. What's his comment? Oh yeah, his scout was actually late, wasn't it? Yeah. We finally managed to kill this engineer, which is quite good, I guess. Our Celine is shooting the ground there, sadly. Same for that engineer then, with our next few tanks. How's the weather? It's fine. It's quite mild. Not too cold now. But everything's Craftius is good. Well, he's right. It is a very good map. Yeah, so I think we have a good opening here, to be honest. Oh, and then he suicides his air a bit. Our micro is terrible. Absolutely dreadful micro. And we're not, well, we have a quick frigate. I like the early naval factory. I think it's timed pretty well. And we get a nice frigate out to do a bit of damage. Kill some engineers that's expanding. And we get the 4 mexes in this corner quite quickly. So yeah, we're just normal stuff, scaling up, trying to do some raids. Yeah, normal stuff. Perfect eco-balancing spending. I don't know. Okay, here he definitely could have reclaimed my tank here, but he decided not to, which was very nice of him. Do we actually get the kill? No. No, we didn't get the kill. I don't know. Okay, there we spot the tanks. Thanks to this nice Celine here, we spotted tanks coming along here. Maybe 4 or 5 tanks. So we just send the ACU after that. Cut them out. And that's very nice for us. And we also seem to be winning air. And we have Navy faster as well. So there's a lot of things going for us right now. Going pretty well. Frigate also helping out there. It's a random, very random bomber there. We make some Zuis out of that factory so that we can kill the mexes up on the plateau with the artillery. And we seem to be a bit behind on units right now. But generally, I don't know, I feel like I'm often behind on units, to be honest. So now we drop the engineers. We also drop some here to try to steal these mexes. The Zui shows the power of Seraphim. Abusing Zuis on this map is really, really good. And he does seem to have a lot of units, so we have to be a bit careful. Try and protect what we have. This was quite nice. Looks like my AC is kind of getting surrounded, but I will take all of that damage for all those free shots on his units. Definitely overbuilding power at this point. Or we have overbuilt power already. So we gotta fix that. Yeah, big overbuild of power. So I should probably make an ACU upgrade. Make the gun. Nice suicide of tanks here. Again, I feel like radar keeps getting killed in a lot of these games, and it's very annoying. We killed that whole expansion now, which is very good for us. And yeah, we are idle in the islands. We dropped there a long time ago, and then we we microed this guy to build stuff. We totally forgot about the islands on the bottom. We could have had 6 extra mexes a little while ago. This fight I'm quite happy with. It's just gonna leave reclaim for us. It's nice for him to donate it back after we gave him some. And we finally realized that we have engineers in the island. And maybe we'll try to steal his island. build a cheeky torp defense there to kill his mexes, but now the eco balance is very bad. Should I take rocks first? Probably. In this scenario. I should. But yeah, the eco is not great now. Very big mastal. I don't know why I'm mastaling so hard. But I am. Probably because I'm losing mexes in various places. Trying to do a little bit too much here at once. But we'll try and steal those mexes. And we will make the gun, finally. Once again, we have a bit of mass. Probably from reclaiming those rocks and stuff. Sup, Kurtza? Very bad use of air. But I'm feeling pretty okay in this scenario. I mean, I feel like I have decent map control. I've done decent damage to him. I don't feel threatened at all. I can see his ACU moving, so I know he's not making an upgrade. Unless he actually already has one, in which case he wouldn't be moving backwards. He'd be moving forwards. So I feel pretty good. Just Navy is probably the issue for me at the minute, where he has some advantage. I put units on this transport and then I was like, where the hell am I going to send this transport? What point would I start at T2 Mex? T2 Mex is not very good on this map, to be honest. Because there's so much stuff to fight for, usually it's better to just try and build more stuff and fight for the T1 Mexes instead of upgrading T2. I find, and you need the energy for, like, you know, air and gun upgrade. And then at this point, this is a terrible move by Bloodier. Like right here, he sends tons of units in here, loses this fight, walks into a gun commander and units, loses that fight. And I think right here, that was just a massive error. Like insane. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe it's just one of those classic scenarios where he just totally misread the game, thought he was actually in a good position. Then we drop up here, and he actually had a T2. Wait, hang on. Did that T2 Mex just finish upgrading? What's up, Keezer? Was that T1 just before that? Look, it's T1. Oh my god. So close. It's T1 as we land. And now it's T2. And then they shoot it. God damn it. I don't think that Mex dies. Yeah, because he has Zooies right next to it. Okay, well that's funny. At least I picked the right spot to drop it in. Although dropping, you know, a single tank up on each of these islands would be better, probably. So yeah, now, I mean, we have so much mass here. It's pretty bad that we have so much mass that we can't spend. But he makes, if these pushes were the worst decisions, well, maybe they're the second worst decisions, because we're about to see what his worst decision was very soon in this game. Well, we'll see it soon. For now, I'm just going to retreat a bit towards the water so I don't get surrounded, and make sure I bring in a lot more units in to defend my commander from units. But yeah, most important thing is just to micro the commander properly. Don't get surrounded. We have a good position. Like, you see, he's lacking a lot of mexes in the water and stuff. And we have a gun common, he doesn't, so it's quite good. He's sending all of his units in this direction. We'll try and sneak past and get all this reclaim. This is quite another bad attack by him, actually. He's going to send units through here, which I can see the whole time, and try and send them up in this direction. But I have a lot of production in that area, so it's not really going to work. He tries to drop and take these mexes, but I have tanks there. And it's time to continue pushing forward with the commander. So this is going to be another bunch of mass for me. And the commander now that has even less tanks in his way to get past. And there we see probably either the worst or second worst decision. T2 air. And a lot of P-gens around it on the very, very far forward. And that's just a terrible decision. And ends the game, basically, because my gun commander is just going to kill that. And all the units are going to kill it as well. And at this point, the game's over. And he's going to control K very soon. Because what are you going to do at this point? I don't know why he made that upgrade. But he did, and yeah, there we go. GG. We win the first game. And I think that was his pick as well. It was his pick for sure. So it was quite even for a while, but yeah. Now, game number 2 versus Blit. So this was my pick. I did not know what to pick against him, to be honest. So I decided to go for this. It's a Falcon. I decided to go for this because, I mean, I'm good on this map. Good on this map, so why not pick it? I beat plenty of good players on this map. So let's do it. Let's go for this one. It was difficult. I didn't know what to pick though, to be honest. So I just went for this. I was like, yeah, I'm fine on this map. Let's do it. Banned Aeon. I think I banned. What did I ban? I probably banned Aeon. Yeah. I think I did. I think one of my picks was Aeon as well. I think I picked. Did I pick Aeon UEF or UEF Aeon? Hard to remember. Oh yeah, this I said yeah he has the good version of the map, but then I realized there's reclaim on the Hydra. Very sad. So we go for second. Okay, I think we're back, right? Are we back? Okay. Let me bring this thing. Oh. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we weren't looking at the scout, so we basically spotted it when it's already almost fully through the radar range, which is not great. And his bomber is pretty annoying. So the first bomb doesn't kill anything. We're trying to get an anti-air out. And he starts bombing the factory to kill the anti-air before it's constructed. So we'll try and build an anti-air. Static anti-air. Oh, we really messed this up. I thought we were going to lose 2 engineers there for a second. Bring the scout home so we can see the bomber. We should have brought the scout home straight away. We should have locked the bomber with the anti-air there. Big error. And yeah, we should have made some labs. Well, we're making labs now, so it's not too bad. Now we're just trying to save our build order. Get our base going. I think we managed to kill the bomber here. I'd be surprised if we didn't. No, we don't actually. So yeah, Blooddeer went first bomber on Desert Arena. I didn't expect it. I should have had, you know, some very early labs. I think I should have gone like Engineer, Mech Marine, or Scout Mech Marine, or Mech Marine Scout as the second and third unit. Then I'd be in a good position. Be in a very good position even. Yeah, the delay, I'm not sure. I mean, there's just going to be a little bit. It's not on, I don't have the thing set on ultra low latency, so there's going to be a little bit. Early radar might not be the best idea, but we did it. Thanks, Ninja. Hearty Ninja. Yeah, at this point I'm like, oh, maybe I'm actually behind already, because obviously I see him in his expansion. He's got a whole expansion of mexes already. We're stalling mass because we're not reclaiming properly. We took too many engineers that were reclaiming off of reclaim and onto building a factory at the wrong time, so we're stalling. So this is very bad. This is really, we really screwed up a lot by building this factory specifically. Very bad decision. Okay, we messed up our bomber micro, so we just ground fired some random nonsense. A waste. Total waste of a bomber. And we make a second one somehow, and that's also going to be a waste. No score counter. Every game was well, it's 1-0 right now versus Blooddeer, and we have won 1 series and lost 1 series. So yeah, I definitely feel like I'm behind in this game at this point. Thanks, Winchester. What's up, Womp? Okay, small e-stall here. Yeah, not our best game. But, you know, stall happens. We managed to fix it. You know, going down to minus 50 stall is not that bad for a time. And mass stalling. Smoother games have been had on this map. Wasn't this my pick? It was. But I did get first bomber. I guess that threw me off. Generally, I'm good on this map. And to be honest, this would be plenty good to beat anyone except the top 5 to 7 players. Honestly. This map is completely flat, I think, yeah. So at this point, I feel like I've kind of stabilized. We're probably still a little bit behind, but it's okay. He's being very chill. Like, he's just not attacking. He's not using his units at all. Like, I don't know what's going on the right side, that I have like 6 tanks in the middle of nowhere. No radar. It's terrible. And nothing's happening. He's just, I don't know where all of his units are. But it's probably like the biggest problem most players have. I see it. Like, even good players, where they just chill with their units and don't use them. Makes no sense to me. We could have had a few more factories by now. We have a lot of mass in the bank. We're doing a good job. We have a lot of engineers reclaiming. But now we're, you see now that I'm actually okay at the map, that I took what was a pretty bad start, and it's like not quite as bad anymore. At least from my POV, it doesn't look so bad. We're going T2 land. Finally, his units appear on my radar. And we have liftoff on T2 land. Immediately upgrade multiple factories, get engineers assisting them as well to get the support factories up quickly. And make some Sparkies. Should have made a T2 engineer first. I thought I did, but I actually didn't. So we'll have to make one later. And we'll even make another support factory here. T2 radar and base. Yeah, you're right, actually. You are actually right that would be... that's the thing to do. I will do that in future. Well, it doesn't even really matter if the bomber gets, if you lose a tank or you use a T2 radar, because a T2 radar isn't actually expensive to build resource wise. It's just expensive to maintain it energy wise, but like the cost of it to build is small. So it dying is actually not that big a deal, except that you lose the radar coverage. But you can just quickly throw up some T1 at that point if you need to. And then replace the T2. And then we have a huge mass stall. And he just made a load of bombers that weren't very useful. You just upgrade T1 to T2. You don't need T2 engineers for T2 support factories. Okay, time for some PDs. TMD, of course. And we should think about a commander upgrade. But it looks like we have T2 a bit faster, but he has way more units than us. It's not even close. Try to use some bombers. But yeah, we're really just lacking resources. I think we're still upgrading mexes. We haven't finished upgrading them yet, which is very bad for us. Okay. This is very frustrating, but here we are. Okay. So, yeah, we don't have stream chat on this display. So yeah, the game is like we're a little bit behind. If you look at his base, well, we both have T2 mexes, we both have T2 land. He has far more T1 units, but I got T2 land faster, so I should have some advantage in T2. Although, he does already have a couple support factories. So, it's in his favor, but we're doing okay. But yeah, we're not ahead, that's for sure. We're not ahead. So we're trying to use our T2 land on the left side. Again, lacking radar. It's kind of a key fact in 1,000,001 of our games in this tournament, it seems. Is a lack of radar, and we miss micro on the side as we're doing something that's not very important, which is carefully placing some T2 PDs. It's really a waste of time. So we get caught on the left, which is quite bad, but I still think I get a good trade there, although it's not as good as it should be, really. Doing okay on the right side as well. Okay, that's actually not that good a trade on the left. And now we're like, okay, screw it, it's time to make AC upgrades now. We have T2BDs to defend us as well in the middle, so we can just make it there. And it's okay. It's okay. Not great, but it's okay. Just got overcharged. 2 mongoose went down. I think he has the gun. He does. He couldn't actually reach that. I don't think he could have reached those mongoose without the gun. He just overcharged an inti there, which is interesting. And he's killing the rest of my intis. Yeah, there's 1 inti left now. And are we making... Okay, here's the problem, right? We're actually making nano right now, I think. So we made the gun. I don't know if you can see it on stream, but I'm about like 30 or 40% to nano. Making nano straight away after the gun was a massive mistake. Should have just made the gun and used the gun immediately. Because right now I have no intel, terrible economy stall, and Bloodyear is going to push into my expansion, and I can do nothing about it because I'm busy making an upgrade. Also, I have all these shields on, and we take a terrible fight in the top right as well. So making the nano upgrade was insanely bad. Worst decision I made in the whole game. Also, he already has MMLs for PDs, which is pretty good for him. Let's just try and make more PDs. We do good micro on this side, but we are getting wrecked on the top side completely. And now we walk into his ACU with our gun and nano, and I have most of my units right next to my commander. And I think I can't stop the army on the top side. So why don't we try and get the kill? I do have full HP ACU. I have quite a few T2 units with me. And all the units around him are T1. And there's like 1 mongoose there. So we just put the AC on snipe mode, so he only attacks the commander. All the mongoose there are firing at the commander. And we send the pillars in ahead of him and try and finish him off. And just auto OC into the face. And win the game. And that's how we got through the group stage. As you can see, behind at least on score for the whole game. That's the score screen. It's decently even, but obviously we're behind. And we did it. So we got through. We knocked out Bloodier. And to be honest, at the end we had tons of HP on the commander. I mean, look at this. It wasn't even close in the end, actually. Like, he just had everything on the top side. There's tons of T2 units in here. Once he's like, this army is gigantic. So we did it. That's one way to do it, anyway. Right. So that's that. So we got through. Tagada won all of his games. Yeah, let's watch Tagada Bloodier games, shall we? I'm sure they're very fascinating. I've only watched one of them. Now, thankfully, Arma is doing great work with these search queries for all the games. That's super handy, honestly. Thank you, Arma, for doing that. It makes it so much easier for everyone to watch the games. Especially me. So let's see. Bloodier and Tagada, game 1. Okay. God damn, this map is bright. Okay. So it's white fire, right? First thing I would expect, honestly, is for both of them to go first bomber. Bloodier's going first bomber. He's gone for Cybrin. P-Gen, Air Factory, Bomber. He's going to assist the ground, I think, probably. Who do I think is favored to win LotS? I'm not sure. I might do... maybe I'll do a predict. It's hard to do a prediction video when you're in the playoffs. But I'm not sure at this point. It's very difficult to predict, in my opinion. Right, so we got Tagada is not going first bomber. Tagada and Bloodier played many games before this tournament. They also discussed map picks for this tournament, and Tagada is just playing against Bloodier here. He knows what Bloodier is going to do, so he goes Land Factory, does a normal build, doesn't go for the mass. 50 unit out of the Land Factory is a mobile anti-air. Celine comes out just as the bomber arrives, and Bloodier is countered. No drops, no engineer here to kill. Nothing. Now Tagada's going to go second air, of course, and now he can safely set an engineer over here. Well, not safely, I guess. The bomber could still kill could still deny this. What if Bladir didn't go first there? Well then, yeah, it could have been bad. You're right. But again, they did play many games against each other. Bladir's going first bomber a lot. Just like Blast said, 80% of the practice games, Bladir's going first bomber, which is so dumb. Maybe he just wanted to practice bomber micro, but clearly he believed that first bomber is super sick. Like, he must have. I don't know why he thought that. It's not like first bomber is brand new, to be honest. He was around when he was playing many years ago. It's not like he's Tagada who never saw first bomber. Gets 2 kills. That's not worth it at all. It's something, but it's literally not worth it at all. And now he goes, he doesn't even make an interior scout or anything. Just goes for a transport. And he's going left. You can't really dodge those too well. It's not easy. I mean, he was trying to dodge, I think. Well, maybe he wasn't. But I mean, Bladir put in a lot of micro there to get those 2 kills. So, transport on the way, and guess what? There's an Inti on it. Inti's not going to do enough damage, obviously, to kill the transport. And that's a bomber from Tagada. Bladir gets the drop. Bomber is on its way. Dodging only works if you can actually kill the bomber. So he can dodge all he wants, but the bomber is going to kill all the NGs. And the bomber doesn't even die. Kills all 3 engineers and survives. That would be interesting. Farms. I guess he was kind of doing that. But at the same time, he has to believe the first bomber is actually good. Like, for no matter what, all the other stuff. Whether he's like, oh, will I do it? Will I not do it? It's like, it has to be a good move at the first point. So, on White Fire, yes, first bomber is good. On other maps, it's not good. So it's like, I don't know. Whether he does it or not, you have to be ready for it. In this particular instance, yeah, Tagada just absolutely brained on him. And just called his bluff. Said he will go first bomber. Which I think is reasonable because it's White Fire, honestly. So yeah, at this point, Tagada has his expansion. Tagada has 5 naval factories versus 2. He has total air control. He has the front island and Bladir does not. He actually just lost his engineer. He built a radar right on the edge of the island, which is terrible. And the game is, it should be over. Yeah, you can find all the... This one I'll probably leave up as a live video, but all the streams get put into the live stream playlist as unlisted videos. Bladir also making 4 T2 Maxes, by the way. 2 of them are finished now. Bit extreme to make all those and then lose air and navy. Doesn't really seem like a good decision. Goodbye production. And Tagada actually getting a PD up in the expansion. That's mad. That's... Yeah, now the ACU has to walk across. Has to leave the reclaim. because he has to head over here to try and take this expansion back. But I mean, he's just so far behind. This game is completely done. He has like half the power income of Tagada. It's just not close. Like, there isn't the 3k beast Raffle Stomp GG easy player I thought he would always be. Well, he has to get in shape, you see. And he's clearly not in shape in that group stage. So, yeah. Maybe for the playoffs. Well, in the playoffs he should be in better shape. But I wouldn't pick him as my favorite to win. That's for sure. I mean, it was pretty amazing that he got to the final last year and beat Nexus in the semi-final quite easily. Like, that was quite ridiculous, honestly. Ladir walking into PD because he has to. Yeah, he's not active at all, really. And Blitter calls GG because, of course, he does. The game's completely over. It was kind of over once he made first bomber and there was an anti-air. And Tagada was totally ready for that. So, yep. That's game one. Very fascinating. Let's check out their second game, which I actually haven't seen. No, it was totally a lost army. He didn't have his expansion. He didn't have naval production. He didn't have air control. He had literally nothing. The mass income was worthless. It was completely over. No top players play effectively. It's kind of nonsense, isn't it? Just look at the replay vaults. Okay. So, what do people do here? Let's see. Second air. 3 pigeons. Seems like Tagada building too many pigeons here. Don't know why you need so many. I don't think you do, rather. Okay, very chill. Wow, okay. 4 engineers, 10 labs. That escalated quickly. Thought it was going to be chill, but no, he's making 10 labs. This is more sensible. 1 lab. And then an engineer. And then 1 tank. And then a scout. And then many engineers. 10 labs, not so reasonable. Both going second air bomber. Tagada avoiding the trees, well, not reclaiming the trees, and just going to expand as quickly as possible. Doesn't want to delay his mexes, so I guess that's why he ends up building a couple extra P-gens in the opening. Bloodier probably saved on P-gens a little bit. No, he didn't actually. Looks like he has a very similar build. Except for the 10 labs, by the way. 10 freaking labs. No scout for the bomber. And Tagada also. Tagada's going for 2 bombers. He's doing this on a lot of maps. Like, there's no way this should work in the playoffs. Sort of shown his hand, I think. If he actually wants to keep doing this, I don't know. I don't know why he would want to do that. But he's going like second air and then making 2 bombers. That shouldn't work. It has worked, but it shouldn't continue to work. Okay, he's gonna try micro both of them. He has no radar coverage. Fail. The other bomber. Dodge. No kills for that bomber. Lab's gonna draw. Oh no, actually, Lab's gonna lose. Tank defense against Lab here. This bomber hasn't killed anything yet. I don't know what it's doing. What the fuck is going on? What are you doing? Where are you going? This is crazy. He bombed 1 engineer there. He was at the back forever. There's 2 engineers there. And he doesn't kill either of them. This bomber at least killed a valuable engineer. He killed 1 Engie with that bomber. Look at these guys. Could have done so much there. That bomber goes down now. Are these labs? Why is he making so many hunters? Why is he doing that? I really don't understand. Like, strikers are very good against labs as well. The units that are the tanks that are the worst against tanks that are the worst against labs are Mantis and Thams. But like Aurora are epic against labs, and strikers are also very good. So this makes no sense to me. It's insanely bad. Like, all they have is 30 extra HP. That's all the hunters got in the patch. So just spamming so many of them is terrible. So now Tagada is just ahead by 2.9k mass, 2.8, 2.9k mass at before 6 minutes. G to the G. Game over. Don't make 10 labs at your first factory and expect to win a normal game on just a regular 10x10 map pick. Like, just insane that you think that can work. So yeah, not very interesting. Yeah, Nexus. Labs were buffed and bombers were buffed, so therefore I will forget everything that I ever knew about the game and just spam them like an idiot. Why is AN considered bad? I think people just don't like playing them, but they're not bad generally. I picked them several times. They were in my faction choices in the group stage. Not on every map, but on several. At least 2 or 3 of the maps out of the 6. That's a really bad fight here. Lyra walks forward. He's going to walk into a gun commander. Tagada has T2 land now as well. No T2 land yet for Blodir. And this game is going to end pretty quick, I think. There's no way to stop the pillars at this point. Gun commander walking forward. I don't really like that he has no units with him and he's sending all of his units to the side. That seems like the only way you could possibly lose is to not send your units with your commander. Like, this makes no sense to have this army here in my opinion, rather than just brute force everything through the middle. But now you can see he's changed his mind. I think he saw the possibility of a suicide there, so retreated quite far back, started relocating his rally points to the middle. And he's gonna just, yeah, he doesn't even have to win the game. Just Blodir says GG. I mean, this expansion is dead. It's not coming back. So, game over. 2-0. Quick for Tagada. Took about 20 minutes for him to get those 2 wins. Not bad. So, caps GG. Alright, now we need some other maps to watch. That's more or less Group A. We're not going to watch any of Blin's other games because he basically didn't even try in the other games. I mean, really didn't try at all in the other games. The hardest he tried was in that first game against me on a Dark Heart, and that wasn't too impressive either. So type in the chat what series you want to see. Here's the group stage bracket, and I'm going to use the bathroom real quick and get a drink. BRB. Okay. What do we got? Well, not many answers on what people want to see. Blast vs. Patrick, and the Blackheart series. I suppose Blackheart versus Turbo. Potentially interesting. Parlon Turin. Bet there's some touring games that are amazing. Yeah, Ben, you might be right. Although I don't know which ones might be. Poor Turin though. Did not do well in this tournament. What's up, Ingwe? I just mentioned your suggestion, Thomas. So, Crimea River. Let's see. I don't think there are any real upsets in this tournament, really. Why do I read that sarcastically, Turbo? Am I wrong to read that sarcastically? I might be. You actually might not be being sarcastic there. Let's check the Blast and Patrick. The first game was terrible, I know for sure, but I didn't see the others. He'll let me decide. Well, fuck. Screw you then. Alright, let's watch these second two games, right? The first game between Blast and Patrick was not interesting. It was very boring. It was a great map for... It was Painted Desert, so it's a perfect map for Patrick. Blast really had no chance there. And it was a very boring game. So, Patrick is 1-0 up at this point. Let's see what happens in this game. Also, important to note, Blast picked Aeon pretty often, which was nice. Pretty nice to see some Aeon picks finally in the games, in the final end of year tournament. I mean, finally some Aeon gameplay. I was picking a bit of Aeon. Blast picked a lot of Aeon from what I saw. I didn't see all of his games, of course, but I saw a few games where he was Aeon. Quite a few, actually. So let's see how it goes. Patrick is Seraphim versus Aeon. So he goes for a quick Celine. I didn't see any of Arch's games actually, Blast. I've seen, honestly, I've seen barely any of the games. I just saw what was on the stream basically, and basically. So whatever was on the streams is what I saw more or less, except for the odd game like that Bloodier Whitefire game, that abomination. Here we can see the Celine abusing its slight extra range. Celine has a little bit more range than Labs, so he's actually able to dodge away. That was perfect micro. It's not easy when you have just 2 range difference, but he managed to dodge away. Now Blast could turn around here and kill this Lab for sure. Kill this Celine, I think. Okay, let's see what's going on. We got second land, third air, I guess. Yeah, third air, another land. There we go. Finally, the flare turns around and kills the Celine. You probably could have done that a long time ago, but you've done it. What's up, Carrion? Well, you see armor, I don't think that would be on its own. I don't think it would be enough to make Aeon play it, because if you ban one faction and then you pick a second one, without the changes in the patch, I don't think people would actually make Aeon still. Or would pick Aeon still. Blast, bombing. He's bombing the air factory a lot. Did he drop 2 bombs on the air factory there? Or no, just 1? Where did the second bomb go, actually? Or was there a second bomb? Dead Celine. Aeon was actually in 16 games out of 52, which is almost a third of all games. Yeah, see, that's still quite low, I'd say. Scout Wreck ate the second bomb. Oh, you hit the... Did you hit it in midair? Is that what you mean? Jesus. That's brutal. Well, there's 2 factions in every game, right? Or potentially 2 factions in every game. There's not that many mirror matchups. Really? Well, I don't know how many mirror matchups there are. But there's potentially 2 factions in every match. So it's not just... It's not like... For it to be even, you should be in 1/4 of the games. Because there's 2... It's 1 versus 1, you know? So probably the other factions probably are in more games. It's definitely not the most picked faction, that's for sure. It's quite decent though. It's definitely quite decent. I'm not saying it's way too low or anything. So Blast's on the way. Blast with a better start here. Just overall, he's got more power, he's got more mass. Expansion looks quite similar. This guy got a Celine kill. Wait, is this the first flare, is it? Almost. I think that is the first flare. He's going to get another kill as well because he hasn't been spotted. So that's going to be a nice engineer to pick off. This is one of the main expanding engineers at this point in the game. Very nice to kill that guy. Nice PD in the middle as well. And that engineer does go down and the flare makes its escape. No mexes from Blast just yet. I'm wondering what his plan is though. Probably gun upgrades. The question is how fast does he go T2 land? I think, yeah, that's about what I expected from Patrick. Quickly to T2 land. A little bit of assistance. You can't really afford too much assistance at this point in the game because you need the engineers for reclaiming and expanding still at this point, so you still have to assist it somewhat, but you can't be putting like 10 engineers on there. Can't afford it. This tank needs to hang around actually with this engineer because this engineer is in mortal danger. Oh no, what the hell, where did the flare go? Oh, he actually caught it. He actually caught the flare. Damn, that's sad. Yeah, compared to StarCraft, the races are very similar. That's true. But they are different enough to definitely warrant some factions being superior on at least on specific maps. Just because FAF has so much variety in maps, then those certain units that are different can make a big difference. T2 land is only going to be slightly later for Blast. No ecoing for these guys right now, which is understandable because they're going so quickly to T2 land. Yeah, I mean, the danger is if you're going to T2 land quickly and then you're like, well, also making mechs upgrades, it's pretty risky. If the other guy just delays T2 land a bit, doesn't make T2 mexes, you could start taking some very bad trades at T1 stage. That's a nice drop from Patrick. A couple anti-airs in there and 5 tanks. Yeah, so not quite a full transport, but this is gonna do nice damage. It's gonna be quite annoying. Also, Blast is still missing a couple of mechs at the back, and I'm not sure why, because I don't think he's lost engineers back here. He's just being too slow to take them. So Patrick, even though he actually did get raided, one engineer here, he's gonna have his back mechs first. That's an interesting move here. Patrick is kind of out of position. There's a gap in the radar. And now he's going to have to send his ACU across. And these tanks, there's not many tanks here though. There's actually not enough at all. And he's going to lose this expansion. The question is, how much reclaim will he leave? Blast taking advantage of the ACU leaving to defend this, to then send about 10 tanks, maybe slightly less, into this expansion. PD here, PD here. Are they going to finish? Not sure. And tanks around the side. So what happened? Did he just not have radar, or did he drop his radar for a while with a power stall? And look at this, we got tanks in the back now. And Blast just being really aggressive. One PD finishes, but there's still 5 tanks here that can kill the mexes, can kill at least the radar, maybe not the hydro. The ACU is arriving here. And lots of tanks have to be sent into the back, including the initial what you call them, Ilshi. And Blast is 5k mass ahead at this point, which is crazy. And it's actually because of the reclaim. I think he has all this reclaim. There's still plenty here for Patrick. He has all of this. He's taken all of it. Look, he's invested so many engineers to get it, to be honest. Probably too many, but he is getting a lot of kills, or getting a lot of reclaim. And this Aurora attack through the middle and then through here, it's quite brutal. I mean, if Patrick doesn't get this mass immediately, this attack is going to have been very effective. I think it was very effective. And this attack at the same time as well has to be noted. Yep, raiding with Auroras. Welcome to 2020. That's a nice drop. And it's going to do some nice damage. Don't waste the shield. Don't waste the shield. Okay, the shield didn't get wasted. I'm happy enough then. But yeah, these drops are very good. Also, Patrick has both sides, by the way, for the longest time, but still 6k mass ahead is Blast, and he's got T2 air as well now. I like this move from, he gets T2 land up to get, you know, power, get some units out. He knows that his opponent's going to go T2 land, so he needs to have his own obsidians and stuff to deal with the Ilshis. But I mean, he takes advantage of the switch to get his Auroras in, uses units really well there, and then goes T2 air, which means, again, Patrick is not going to have free reign to just send his Ilshis in and start attacking. He's going to have to prepare quite a few flaks now. He already has 3 of them, but he's going to keep those at home for now. And Patrick's making the gun. I kind of would have expected him to make T2, because T2 is usually very nice to defend this area, but instead he's going to actually make the gun and make PDs with T2 engineers, which is probably a better option, actually, more efficient. This tank has so many kills. 340 mass kill. This gunship is on strike. Oh my god. Like, how like, kill. Go kill. Now, my next question is, when is T3 land? Oh. Okay, I think Patrick is probably thinking that Blast will go fast T3 land, and he doesn't want to get caught off guard. He hasn't scouted. Oh, that's a good flak. Some wasted gunships here. Unless they fly away immediately. And Blast has double gun and chrono. Petrick is going T3. He had to take all of his engineers onto the T2P gen there, and then now he's going back, and the chrono is revealed. Oh my god. Look at this army the Blast has with him as well. He's got 11 obsidians. He's got so much mass though. He should probably... Yeah, he could actually afford, you know, like 2 extra support factories probably a while ago. But he's got so much. How do you stop? He needs PDs immediately. He needs many PDs. 1 PD and then stopping? Doesn't seem right. I mean, ACU now has to cancel the T2 upgrade that he was trying to make and run away because there's a dozen obsidians coming towards him with a shield. This PD is going to get really good damage. Obsidians do really well versus Ilshis. The trick is to get into range. If they don't get into range, they're quite bad, of course. But once they're in range, they're amazing. Ilshis do not want to go towards this commander. The chrono is brutal. And Blast has enough energy in storage to actually one-shot the Ilshis. It's not cheap. See Blast POV, he's arriving. If he had... Yeah, okay, here come the artillery. He needed a few more artillery at this point, I think. Engineers go down. T3 land is at like 75-80% now. Overcharges come in. He's got a nice overflow. He's got gunships ready as well to do more damage. And how... Like, look at how tanky the Obsidians are. Nothing can stop them when they're just getting... They're in range of everything. The Ilshis are all stunned and dying. Well, they're all dead now. And this is a brutal crush. Both P-gens are down. HQ is gonna die at like 90 something %. And there's so many more Obsidians coming as well. And now the ACU under attack by 5 T2 gunships. Petrick struggles to type GG in the chat after he control Ks, and Blast crushes with double gun and chrono. How much does chrono cost? It's like let's see, 1750 mass and 52,500 power. So it's not super expensive, but it's quite expensive. And this was just the perfect time. I mean, that was just, I think, a bad... Petrick didn't really know what Blast was doing, basically. He didn't know that Blast wasn't going T3. I think he assumed Blast was going to go T3 quickly. He didn't know Blast had chrono. You can tell, it's easy to tell the Aeon ACU has chrono because he's either going to have shield or chrono, and you're going to see the shield on the ACU. If you don't see that, then you just see the backpack, then you know it's chrono. So he didn't know about that, and he didn't know that T3 was not on the cards for Blast, so he just got rolled. Yes. So nice game from Blast there. He was already ahead as well, it has to be said. Like, it's not like it was an even game and then Petrick didn't know what was happening. Petrick was already losing there, and Blast just ended up finding the perfect way to just crush the game. So let's watch their deciding game. So interesting thing here is that Petrick has to win this game to get out of the groups. So he actually does have a bit of pressure on him in this match, and he hasn't really played very much. recently at all. So let's see. Okay, Petra going first bomber. You don't have to win it? Are you sure you don't have to win this? Oh, you'd win on tie breaks? Okay, okay. The call. Well, we'll see. Maybe we can do it later. If not, we'll do it soon. Yeah, so Petra goes first bomber. Blast goes first air. But does not go first bomber. This is a good map for first bomber because, again, as we keep saying, labs are great against first bomber. Obviously, you can't make any map where you're safe from labs, and it's not a huge map, and you know you can probably make a case for a first bomber in a lot of those scenarios. So Petra goes for it. Not that it's like OP on this map, it's just probably viable, I guess. Not sure what the micro is here. It's not easy to micro these freaking bombers, to be honest. I have found that. There's one engineer kill. These are the fantastic engineers to kill. Ideally, he would get like 2 or 3 passes in the base first, but the bomber is not cooperating. So he has to go for these guys now because there's a static anti-air. Look at this. And now he's going to fly into the anti-air anyway. Damn. That was a really bad first bomber. Extremely bad. He got 1 kill there. And that's it. And rip. He did at least like slow these engineers down hugely. If there's a 3-way tie, the top seed automatically gets in? Really? That's actually very dumb. I didn't realize that was how ties were resolved. Well, I know that there's already like tiebreaker rules before that point, and it's like if it's absolutely dead even, then I guess they would do that, but that's still kind of busted actually. Blast goes for a scout and an inti and then a bomber, and then a transport quickly as well, which actually makes sense to go for transport quickly, because I mean, for sure he can, like, he already has an anti-air in his base, for example, so he could chill here. If intis start coming in, then he at least has something to defend the transport with. And also you can't hover a scout over the base or anything, so you can't see. You can't just chill on top of the transport and watch it. So it's pretty good that he made a transport actually. I like that, but he's behind in the middle because, well, yeah, he's slightly behind in the middle. Later there with his ACU most critically. If Zlo would have won against Pepsi and Patrick lost this game, Zlo would have advanced. Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, turned out that Patrick didn't have to win this, but he really needed to make sure. I mean, if he wins, then he's definitely through. If he loses, then it depends on what happens in the other games. Although I don't know the timing of when all the games were happening exactly, because these games might have been the last ones, so in that case it's a moot point. But yeah, it looks good. I don't know how it looks good for Patrick already, because again, He went first bomber and got 1 kill. So he really shouldn't be in a good position. So Blast, I guess, needs to really work on this map, to be honest. But he is at least getting a corner a bit faster. Gonna lose his transport now. Hopefully he doesn't lose his inties as well. Okay, he is gonna lose his inties as well. Or not. Where is he going? Maybe he'll find this transport. No, he probably won't. So yeah, Petric also going Aeon. We got 3.5 factories here versus 4.5. Got an ACU in the middle, ready to scoop up all this reclaim long before Blast gets there. And this game looks unlosable from this position. Big statement to say unlosable, but I think it's pretty... you shouldn't lose here. In a tournament game, there should not be a comeback possible. It's that bad for Blast. He's making a naval factory. Maybe he should make a naval factory very quickly. Well, no, probably not. Probably not. This seems a decent time to build one. Against Aurora. Petric gonna take the bottom left. Blast has the top right. He took a bit of reclaim and a mechs before getting the factory. A nice compromise between greed and safety, but he has given up all of the big rocks except for like these two over here, which he's actually not heading towards. Petric got a lot of reclaim there, and you can see these factories finished very quickly. There was no trouble finishing those. He's actually stalling mass or power now because he has, well, because he got so much mass that he was able to spend there. And he has 3 air factories, so it's quite a lot of air production to be sustaining while you're also building a major land base. When do you build navy on this map? It's hard to say. There's no definitive answer there, really. Navy, you don't want to overinvest in Navy, basically. You don't want to be investing immediately. You don't want like 3rd Navy. I don't think is useful. But you can do some damage. Like these mechs can be raided. This mechs can be raided. This mechs. This mechs. So you can kill mechs and stuff. You can do damage, but you don't spam Navy. And you don't make it super fast either. But you should make Navy, I think. You should definitely make Navy. Okay, what's happening? Blast is, well, he's not so far behind anymore, but I think he has far fewer units at this point. 42 Aurora. 23, and he's got quite a few Medusa as well. He's making a lot of Medusa because Medusa will actually give you insane value if you use them correctly against Aurora. You can really, because they, you know, they have the range and the AoE on their shells, so you can actually do a lot with Aurora, or against Aurora with Medusa. Blast not taking the reclaim. To be honest, with Hover, I mean, say against Seraphim, they can send sort of annoying Zuis around the water and stuff early on, and you don't want to be losing mexes to that when you can get free damage versus frigates. Auroras are probably less likely to do that, but they can also do that. This drop is not going to work. Might do a bit of damage though, but if he doesn't micro, he's going to lose everything to Auroras. Yeah, it looks very, very good for Petric. I mean, he has a huge army here versus virtually nothing. T2 land, rocket bots, okay. I feel Petric will go T2 air, or okay, yeah, he's making T2 air, and he'll probably make some gun upgrades soon as well. Mantis actually did quite a decent amount of damage on this island. some bomber usage from Petrick. And yeah, not sure what Blast can do here. There's no economy. Petrick has been able to afford way more units, T2 air and a T2 mechs. And yeah, another drop on this island. Oh, Bomber's gonna bomb all of them. That's quite sad for Blast. Seems like Aeon bombers also do two more damage than they're supposed to, just like Seraphim bombers. Not sure what the story is with that. Where did those bombs go? That was very strange. Oh, is that just them going underwater? Or what? Oh, why? Yeah, they're actually underwater at that point. Yeah, this is one reason to make Navy. Although you can see Auroras are just getting bombed on the water as well. But yeah, the frigate can come out and just kill a lot of these. Hopefully before they get to the beach. Which starts here, by the way. This is not beach. Yeah, Petrick now with range gun. Blast with no gun upgrade. No Navy either for Petrick. He's finishing T2 P-Gen, and he will have total air control, and he can probably just snipe the commander. Also, I think a flak died here, by the way. Yeah, that's a dead flak, died to Aurora. Okay, Blast forgot his units, and he's going to lose a few thousand HP to Aurora now. As Petrick makes the sensors to see through all of any of the stealth that might be here, although I don't see any. The rocket bots are here to murder some Aurora. And those two frigates were killing a factory. In the meantime, they were getting killed by Aurora. He saves that one. Just about. Petrick starts walking forward. He has very few units now, it has to be said. He sent a ton of units here. He lost quite a few units in this area. He lost units here and sent some as well. So he actually doesn't have that many units, but he still is in very little danger of dying. And Blast is going T2 Navy. Which I am not against at this point. He's still behind. Still in an overall bad position. Oh, that's a good drop. He will not lose the Hydra though, so artillery would have been much better to drop here actually. The Aurora will just die to the bomber, I think. Wait, the Hydra is gonna die. Unless they start targeting engineers. Yeah, which they do. Last retreats. A lot of dead mexes for Petrick here. Still no more economy upgrades, but that's a lot of gunships. Got 2 Swifties and a lot of out of fuel inties actually. Blast does have a lot of inties, and his are not so out of fuel. Rocket bots shooting out into the water. This bomber is just murdering Aurora. Look at this, 14 kills. And I'm not sure why Blast retreated so heavily. Why did he retreat every single unit back to his base in middle and give up everything? Now Petrick's taking the mass, but Petrick is also losing air brutally. And he will try and save the gunships. And he'll probably run away now because he lost air. No T2 air though for Blast. Now imagine if Blast had gone T2 air instead of T2 Navy here. Patrick would die. 100% Patrick would be dead in 2 minutes. If he had made T2 Air instead of T2 Navy. Now he's going to have T2 Navy, and he will have to maintain air control in 5 minutes time when the T2 Navy starts doing real damage. So we'll see. This actually looks quite bad for Patrick. Where's he headed? Blast just lost another flank there, by the way. And Patrick's heading towards Blast's ACU. The units totally out of position for Blast are now running back towards the commander. That's actually trying to get into range of Patrick's comm. Overcharge goes off. And here come 5 gunships. Where's the air? Hovering over the cruiser. Blast takes 5 shots to the face from the gunships, and he's down to 3,500 HP, still in range of the enemy commander. 1,200 HP now. Gunships still alive. Will they get more shots? Oh my god. Okay. Well, that's a sad way for it to end for Blast Chilled. Look at all these units coming in on Patrick's commander. Oh, yeah. That flak suiciding right in front of him was very sad. Really good kill by Patrick. But, yeah. Blast really... He definitely had that game. For sure. He was in a better position. Nice quick T2 land though from Patrick. Once he lost air, he immediately was making flaks, but... he could have had T2 air instead of T2 Navy, potentially. Well, for sure, and probably could have ended the game if he had done that instead of T2 Navy. But, I mean, T2 Navy was probably going to win the game in the next 5 minutes if he didn't die here. So, it's hard to say that T2 Navy is really wrong decision. More like having his ACU here was the wrong decision. And maybe, yeah. And his units, he just had some stuff misplaced. And Patrick just sniped him. No mercy. So Patrick wins that series. Patrick goes through in 2nd place in his group, by the way. Right, here's the bracket again, right? And you can look at you click on final stage, or I don't know if it opens on final stage or not, but you can see the matchups in the quarterfinal. So Tagada versus Blackheart, very interesting quarterfinal game. See you, Kurtza. Esperanto and Paralon. Not a matchup people would expect, I guess, in the quarterfinals. But honestly, I don't know who will take that game. It's very difficult to predict the first two. Actually, I think it's difficult to predict any of these quarterfinals for me. Third game, Nexus versus Patrick in the quarterfinal. So they didn't meet in last year's tournament. Blackheart knocked out Nexus in the semis. Next versus Patrick, and then Turbo versus Me, Jagged. So I don't know. I don't know how any of these games are gonna go. To be honest, I think it's really tough to see who's going to be in the semis. So should hopefully get some interesting series next week. I want to see if the quarterfinal is best of 5 or not, or is it best of 3? Thanks, Callus. Does anyone know if it's best of 3 or best of 5 in quarters? Good night, Callus. It's best of 5 quarters. Alright, that makes sense. It's hard to find some of the info, honestly, in these forum threads. Let me see. Right, oh yeah, there it is. Best of 5 quarterfinal. And then the finals and the third place are best of 7. So yeah, should be interesting. It's going to be very important to pick the right maps and ban the right maps in these series. Honestly, I think after the games we'll be looking back at why did he let this map go through and stuff like that. So yeah, it should be interesting. Yes. I'll probably end the stream there, to be honest. What's that, about 3 hours? We covered our own games mainly. We might cover some other games in another stream at some point, but for now I think we'll knock it off. Head off. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, you can watch the coverage back on the FAF Live channel on Twitch. And it'll probably be up on the FAF YouTube channel, I hope, soon. You can see the VOD is right there on the FAF Live channel. So yeah, see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.